Danny Goff, number 60, isn't out there on the grid, unfortunately. But other than Danny Goff, we seem to have 10, 11 complete rows. So green flag at the back. Clutches in, clicking into first gear, red lights are on, all eyes on the lights, and they go out, and we are racing now towards Redgate. Finn Chalk looks like he got a good start from pole position on bike number 87, and he is going to go into Redgate relatively unchallenged then. So Finn Chalk, number 87, will take the whole shot. That looks to me like number 19, Alfie Davidson, just swooping around the outside. He holds on to second position as they go down Hollywood now through Craner Curves for the first time of 5. But Finn Chalk and Alfie Davidson there, both in the 1 minute 48, so there's a 48.3 for Finn and a 1 minute 48.4 for Alfie in the qualifying session earlier on today. Number 16, Luke McRae, was in the 1 minute 50s, and he will be looking to go with the 2 in front, but down in towards the old hairpin then. We'll try and pick them up on the cameras. Everybody through safely underneath where Starkey's Bridge used to be, then through Starkey's on towards Swans and McLean's. They come back into our sight, and it looks like the 2 at the front there are opening up a slim margin over your third place rider at the moment there, who likewise has a bit of daylight between himself and that gaggle of riders battling for 4th now. From a distance we can just about see that Finn Chalk is just leading the way. I suspect that's Alfie Davidson tucked in right behind him. So the 87 and the number 19 down the back straight in towards the Foggy S's for the first time of asking, and we'll get a better idea as to who is where when they make their way out of the Foggy S's. But it is now Alfie Davidson who is leading the way over Finn Chalk. There is Luke McRae in 3rd position, and we've got a whole bunch of riders there. We've got 3, 6, 9 riders all battling for that 4th place position. And there is a challenge for 4th there, a challenge around the outside actually for around about 8th position as well. So lots of riders all fighting for the same track space, and that just proves to be that's Dan North who's looking up the inside for 4th position as we go in towards Goddard's for the first time. But Alfie Davidson and Finn Chalk out of Goddard's and onto the front straight to complete lap number 1. Davidson leads by just shy of a quarter of a second over the 87 of Finn Chalk. 3rd place at the moment then is Dan North, then Kershaw, then O'Hara. But where is the number 16 machine of McRae? So McRae, we've got yellow flags at the Melbourne hairpin. So unfortunately I suspect that the number 16 of Luke McRae, the man who qualified 3rd quickest this morning, could well be out of this one before the end of lap number 1. A great shame there for Luke. Looking around the circuit then, it does seem to be that that was the only rider to not complete the first lap there. It's a number 78 machine, Richard Dwyer, the rookie this year, who dropped 5 positions, now at the back of the field in 31st place. So initially we were expecting 33 on the grid. Unfortunately Danny Goff was not there, so 32 took to the start, and now only 31 riders remain in this one. But a great shame there, as we said, for the number 16 of Luke McRae. But already our race leaders making their way around Coppice and onto the back straight for the second time. This will be the first of the flying laps. Alfie Davidson leads by 0.2 of a second, but it is Finn Chalk who's gone purple in sector number 1. So that is to suggest that he has closed the gap ever so slightly on Alfie Davidson, the man in front. We've already said that Alfie Davidson has already taken a victory today in the Super Twin race. He'll be looking to back that up with a victory in this CB 500 race as well. But Finn Chalk, he's keeping him honest as he goes in towards Melbourne Loop. He's right there on the tail end. Similar lines round Melbourne Loop, not quite close enough to make a challenge this time around is Finn Chalk, the man from Scotland. As in towards the braking zone for Goddard's they go, 19 and 87 in that order. And then we've got a great battle now for 3rd place. It looks like Dan North is just in 5th position at the moment, behind the number 23 and the 14. So the number 23 of Adrian Kershaw and the 14 of Liam McPherson, that is 4th and 3rd. But out of Goddard's they come then. We'll call them as they come across the line, as Davidson now leads Finn Chalk by 0.4 of a second. So Alfie Davidson, a 1 minute 47.382. Of course, this will be the first time that we've had the ThunderBike 500s here with the club, so that will be a new lap record. That will be one to keep an eye on over the course of the weekend. Likewise, the Retro 1000s and the ThunderBike Ultras, Keith, because we've not had those classes here at the Donington Park GP circuit. So the leading 2 have made the break, as we suspected before the race got underway. They're 9.2 seconds advantage over McPherson. But then look at that group of riders behind McPherson, Keith. We've got Kershaw, North, O'Hara, Corty, Swift, Carver, Sugden, Carter and Woodall. And then a 1 3/4 second gap back to Abigail Marshall, who's currently 3rd in the C1 class.
She's 3rd in the C1 class, also leading the rookie class. And of course, these are all valuable points for her. in her hopes to do well in the championship, which I think she's already leading the championship through sheer consistency. And fair play to Abby. You can only beat who shows up, and if they decide to fall off, it's even better for you. But yeah, Davidson, let's see, what class is he in? C2.
Alfie Davidson, C2.
That's the most competitive class, isn't it?
I don't believe he's scoring points, if that's right.
Of course, it's the same Alfie Davidson who's in the Super Twins. Yes, you're right. Yeah, now, who was it we had at Alton Park who was in the CB500s?
Josh Owens.
Josh Owens did a similar thing, didn't he? Lap record, race win in the CB500s, and the thing to do is now almost becoming compulsory, as Alfie Davidson has indeed set. Well, I tell you what though, Finn Chalk, forget Alfie Davidson, mate. Finn Chalk is taking the fight. Now this is the first time I think we've seen Finn out to play this year, isn't it?
He was at Alton Park. Finn Chalk,
okay.
he's currently 5th in the standings there, but of course he took 2 victories at Alton Park.
Right, okay, because I know Finn was a serious front runner, unsurprisingly, when he used to race with ThunderSport, and funnily enough, I did my first ever ThunderSport meeting here about 10 years ago, actually. And yeah, so Finn is a serious contender on these machines. Now, as you say, he is from Scotland, so he has a fair way to travel. And I wonder how many other riders you've got this weekend that we haven't seen in the main championship. I'm actually surprised we've only got 32 runners and riders. Interesting to see Luke McRae at the bottom of the field there. Did he not make the start?
He made the start. Unfortunately, went out of 3rd place at Melbourne Loop on lap 1.
Okay, unlucky. So sorry to hear that. This is not a long way to walk home, but unfortunately not such a good weekend so far for the McRaes. But certainly Max McRae's girlfriend doing very well there.
Yeah, you mentioned the C1 championship standings at the moment. Of course, Abigail Marshall comes into this weekend leading it by 5 over Jake Corty. Corty is 2nd at the moment, Marshall is 3rd, so that will go down to a 1-point advantage going into the next race. Of course, it's still got a long way to go in the championship, but that's pretty much level pegging.
Absolutely, yeah, no, it's all very, very close indeed. So we see a purple from Finn Chalk as well out the back there. He's got a clear track in front of him. We also see a green from Alfie Davidson, though they're down into
Goddard's already.
Goddard's already slimy. So that is Chalk in 2nd place there. I can see the distinctive yellow machine that he's on. Whole lot of Rossi yellow going on there. Some other good battles all the way down through the track as people try to gain the advantage. It looks like they're good group for the 3rd place battle there, and going back further, there's at least 2 or 3 bikes. There's very few people having a lonely race here, aren't there?
Yeah, you're right. I was just watching Pete Woodall there, bike number 75, just sticking it up the inside and really sitting up that rider for that respective position. I think that's down in the roundabout 11th position there, Keith. But Pete Woodall up the inside and takes that position. He's now got number 29, Dean Carver, in his sights. Robert Carver, my apologies.
Where did Pete qualify, mate? He must have been a fair way down then, I'm thinking.
He qualified
in 14th place. That's a long way down for Pete Woodall, of 54, given the pace is a 48. For Pete Woodall to be 6 seconds away from the pace is that was
nearly a challenge there up into Schwantz and McLean's there. Of course, we are on the last lap now, so we've got about half a lap to go for the leading 2. But Davidson Chalk, there's nothing to separate them as we watch them go from the left of Schwantz into the right-hander of McLean's. They're already around the double apex right-hander now of Coppice onto the back straight underneath where the Dunlop Bridge used to be.
Indeed, used to be. Now it lives in, what's his name?
Is it Chris Evans?
Chris Evans' garden,
Has he still got it?
Probably, I don't know. Right, it's another purple there from Finn Chalk, so he definitely wants this one. They're going to make their way into the S's.
Tried to get the cut back there, but didn't quite work out. And he's going to have to be brave on the brakes there in towards Melbourne Loop.
2 challenges. Can't get him into the loop, surely.
He's trying.
I tell you what, I would have kept my powder dry. Maybe gone for Goddard's, but he's gone for the big push down the inside. He can't quite pull it off there as he come racing up towards Goddard's. The last time Chalk has got to be too far back.
Not close enough there, unless I'll tell you what, that rear end was fishtailing, protesting all the way into the apex there. But I think Alfie Davidson's got it covered.
Well, Davidson talks the talk and Finn chalks the chalk as they come across the line and separated by 3/10 of a second. But of course, Davidson doesn't score points, so it is a gold medal there for Finn Chalk, so he'll be well pleased with that. Overall championship leader, though, Dan North is going to pick up a very useful 20 points in this championship if he can stay where he is. He was half a second clear of McPherson when they came across the line last time, and that's going to be the same as Swift comes across the line in 5th place ahead of Kershaw. And it's going to be Corty taking the C1
I think Corty just got through on Kershaw in the closing stages.
Indeed, good call, mate, well spotted. And it's O'Hara, Carver, Woodall. Yeah, Pete's got to have some problems there. It's not like him to be that far down. Sugden, Carter, Then, oh, big battle of bikes here is going to take them. Oh, Mal, looks like Abby Marshall had a real shocker on the last lap. She's gone from something like 14th down to 19th place. So she finishes second in the rookies, but still hangs on to third in class. So she picks up some useful lightweight points. Osborne, Gregory, Horner, Harker, Marshall, Dwyer, all in the mix there with Grimes, Carver, Finch, Maud. That's Max Maud, one of the class organisers, and the riders rep does a great job in the background.